the divine light guides us all.
Psalm 145. I will extol thee, my God, O King, and I will bless thy name forever and ever. Every day will I bless thee, and I will praise thy name forever and ever. Great is the Lord, and greatly to be praised, and his greatness is unsearchable. One generation shall praise thy works to another, and shall declare thy mighty acts. I will speak of the glorious honor of thy majesty, and of thy wondrous works. And men shall speak of the might of thy terrible acts, and I will declare thy greatness. They shall abundantly utter the memory of thy great goodness, and shall sing of thy righteousness. The Lord is gracious and full of passion, slow to anger, and of great mercy. The Lord is good to all, and his tender mercies are over all his works. All thy works shall praise thee, O Lord, and thy saints shall bless thee. They shall speak of the glory of thy kingdom, and talk of thy power, to make known to the sons of men his mighty acts, and the glorious majesty of his kingdom. Thy kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and thy dominion endureth throughout all generations. The Lord upholdeth all that fall, and raiseth up all those that be bowed down. The eyes of all wait upon thee, and thou givest them their meat in due season. Thou openest thy hand, and satisfiest the desire of every living thing. The Lord is righteous in all his ways, and holy in all his works. The Lord is nigh unto all them that call upon him, to all that call upon him in truth. He will fulfill the desire of them that fear him. He also will hear their cry, and will save them. The Lord preserveth all them that love him, but all the wicked will he destroy. My mouth shall speak the praise of the Lord, and let all flesh bless his holy name forever. Show my love for you.
Abanawa, Shabashamayim, Kodash, Haya, Shamka, Yahweh, Malakwithka, Taba'a, Ratazaka, Haya, Aisha, Ba'arataza, Kawa, Haya, Bashamayim, Nathananawa, Lakam, Kal Yawam, Wasalaklanawa, Khawabwat Nawa, Kasalach Nawa, Kawabwati Nawa, Wala'a, Tabaya Nawa, Banasayawan, Abal, Haushai Nawa, Mayan, Rai Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwath, Waha Allah, Wahata Ba'arath, La Iwalamium, Aman.
All right, Shalom. First and foremost, we would like to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shah, Bahasham, Kakadash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples to his younger brothers, and peace and blessings and salutation to the hope of got the pushing his word and truth and in sincerity across the four winds in the name of Yahweh Bashim Al Shai, pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the hopeful the believers, the listeners whom have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh Bashim Al Shai. All right, we're GMS Mississippi Camp. All right, coming with another weekly lesson this week. All right, and the topic, all right, of this live stream is political theater will lead to actual war. Okay, because what we're seeing right now, amongst, all these news and, these headlines and these clippings, well, a lot of it is what we call political theater. Okay, it's just things that have been said for posture and show. All right, things that really don't have any weight to it. Okay, and that's why it pays to have a thorough understanding of prophecy, so we know what to disregard and we know what to look into. Okay, and one thing we know for sure that America is on the decline. All right, and what we're seeing from America is trying to project itself, all right, to still be the dominant power in the earth. Okay, when it's declining, okay, to be a subpar nation, man. Okay, and America is going to be exposed in this third world war. All this hoorah, this hooray, around American military. Okay, which right now to date, America is the best military in theory and on paper. Okay, they haven't been tested in a long time. Okay, they haven't fought a first world country and put boots on the ground since they fought Germany in the 1940s. Okay, so there's a lot of answers. There's a lot of questions that's going to be answered in this third world war regarding America's military prowess, man. Okay, and what we're seeing now with this guy Donald Trump is we finna get into. He's an actor. Okay, he's no different. All right, than Tom Cruise, Brad Pitt. Okay, he's just the president of the United States. All right, and the elites have this man as the logo of America right now to keep everyone distracted while they roll out this new world order, man. Okay, so majority of the things that we hear come from this guy is all based on political theater. It holds no weight. That's why most of the thing that he says it doesn't happen. But then when one thing that he does come to pass, it's the headline for a month. Okay, and it's all to get people sucked into things that don't matter. All right, so I want to get this precept for the brother, and we got a video, got a few things in the chat, a few things to look up dealing with the latest, dealing with Greenland. Okay, and Lord will you brothers and you sisters are edified. So let's get this. You said 5 and 6, bro.
Con.
You got it, bro.
Gun, this is the book of Proverbs. Can you hear me?
Nah, you got it.
Can you hear me good?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Gun, this is the book of Proverbs, chapter 3 and verse 5. It says, trust in the Lord Yahweh with all thine heart, and lean not unto thy own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths.
Right. So right now, everything that's going on, we have to still just understand, man, that we have to trust in the Lord. Because Job 9:24, the earth to give into the hands of the wicked, man. And we see how this devil is moving. Everything that's going on with Trump in America and all the other countries, man. This is not that. And the prophets have been speaking on this since the apostles been on the scene, man. That we would never be able to take up arms against this devil and try to conquer or take nothing back, because this is our captivity. And our only deliverance is going to be way of Yahweh Shai, man. So now was the time where we supposed to be repenting, tapping in to the spirit and acknowledge that the Lord is doing his thing, and just, remain rooted and follow the paths of righteousness to the best of our ability, man. Because what this devil's finna do, man, like the brothers had brought out in the beginning, he's just Trump, really just a puppet, man. But the main agenda is what they're pushing behind the scenes, and we're seeing it still leak out, man. It's all about that NWO, man. But in the midst of all this, Jacob's trouble is still coming to pass. Okay, it's still going to happen. The MOTB is still going to happen. World War III is still going to happen. But there's no safe haven or deliverance out of the chaos that's going to happen other than by way of Yahweh Shai, man. So if you're going to trust up in Egypt, you're going to be destroyed. So we have to stay rooted in this truth and have faith and trust Yahweh Shai that his words are faithful and true, and he will direct our path. That's it, bro.
Come on, bro. You had a precept before we got to the video?
Nah, bro, you got it.
Okay, come on. So let's get to this video. This the latest dealing with Trump. All right, which ever since Venezuela. Okay, he's been riding that wave of the hype. Okay, and he just been throwing out, every day it's a new country, that they're gonna take over, and conquer and do this and do that. All right. So let's play this, and then we'll go into, the resources of Greenland, and then we'll go into political theater. I'd rather I get back into some more prophecy, man, just to show you how all these things are tied into the will of Yahweh Bashim Shah being playing out in the earth in real time. Okay, so let's
got a quick statement, real quick, bro. I was looking at earlier. Trump did declare himself as acting president over Venezuela as well.
Yeah, and they're just more political theater. Like, they don't mean shit. You know what I'm saying? It's just a bunch of empty talk. And that's what this niggas put to do, is just talk. You know what I'm saying? Like, they just talk made for the break room. That nigga don't run Venezuela. Okay, you don't just run a country with 24 people by announcement. You gotta put boots on the ground. You gotta set up infrastructure. You gotta set up, banking. You gotta do all these things, man. And he's just talking because he know most people don't know shit. So right. To 90% of America, he the president of Venezuela too. Nigga don't know how nothing work, man, and they know that, so they able to say anything, man, just to keep people talking, But let's play this.
The fight over Greenland just took a global turn. China is now warning the United States not to use other countries as an excuse to push its own interests in the Arctic, as President Donald Trump openly talks about taking Greenland one way or another. What was once a shocking idea is now turning into a serious international standoff. Speaking at a regular press briefing in Beijing, a Chinese foreign ministry spokesperson issued a pointed message to Washington. China said the United States should not use Russia or China as a pretext to justify its ambitions in Greenland. Beijing stressed that its activities in the Arctic fully comply with international law and said the region concerns the interests of the entire international community, not just the U.S. China didn't mention Greenland by name, but the warning was clear. President Trump has repeatedly said the U.S. needs Greenland for national security. He argues that if Washington doesn't act, Russia or China will. Speaking aboard Air Force One, Trump doubled down, saying he would prefer to make a deal, but added, one way or the other, we're going to have Greenland.
If we don't take Greenland, Russia or China will take Greenland, and I am not going to let that happen.
Is there any deal they can offer you? They're like,
yeah, sure, I'd love to make a deal with them. It's easier. But one way or the other, we're going to have Greenland.
Reports say the White House is now considering a range of options, including military force. The response from Europe has been sharp. Denmark's prime minister has warned that a U.S. takeover of Greenland could mark the end of NATO, calling it an unprecedented move against an ally. Greenland's prime minister and all major political parties issued a joint statement saying Greenland's future must be decided by its own people and accused the U.S. of showing contempt toward the territory.
Greenland needs the European Union, and the European Union needs Greenland.
China has long sought influence in the Arctic. In 2018, Beijing declared itself a near-Arctic state and announced plans for a polar Silk Road linking Arctic shipping routes to its global Belt and Road initiative. Beijing says its goal is cooperation and development, but Washington sees it as a strategic threat. That's why China is now pushing back publicly, warning the U.S. not to drag it into a justification for expanding American power. Danish and Greenlandic officials are expected in Washington this week for high-level talks. U.S. senators are also preparing visits to Denmark as tensions continue to rise. With the US, China, Russia, and NATO all watching closely, Greenland, once seen as remote and frozen, has become a global flashpoint. So the big question is this: is Greenland about security or about power? And will diplomacy cool this crisis, or will the Arctic become the next arena of great power confrontation?
So yeah, so that's the the latest dealing with this guy in Greenland, and I want to get these resources, and like he's saying that Greenland, they need Greenland for national security, which when you look at Greenland, it is a landmass between Russia, and Canada and America. But at the end of the day, getting Greenland ain't gonna stop the outcome of what the Lord got written. Okay, Greenland ain't gonna stop them hypersonics, from coming to America. Okay, Russia just shot those oceanic missiles, okay, over there in Ukraine, moving at 13,000 miles an hour. Okay, Mach 10. Okay, so I don't give a damn. It don't matter what country this nigga take. Okay, he can take the globe. It still ain't gonna matter, man. Them nukes, all right, gonna hit America at hypersonic speed, man. So let's just go here real quick, because what we have to understand, this is all political theater just to get a reaction. Okay, now when you do go to what they call the technocracy, when you go into the map of the regions of technocracy, it's a map that has Greenland, Canada, America, all right, Venezuela, all of it is part of this region. Okay, it's called a technate, which is like a state within the technocracy global system. Okay, so these doubles, they're pushing for, all right, to recolonize the earth. Okay, dealing with technology, man. So technology need what? Resources, man. So what we're seeing is these devils making a run, making a grab for these resources before they enter into this new world order. Okay, because what we're seeing is these devils, they're fighting their way into this new world order. Okay, so they're trying to grab these resources and secure these resources because everybody want to go into the new world order with power. Okay, so you look at the resources that Greenland is rich in. It says Greenland is rich in untapped natural resources, particularly minerals crucial for green technology like rare earth minerals, lithium, graphite. All right, with lithium and graphite, all these are in the most of these are in the microchip. Lithium, graphite, copper. I know gold, graphite, and lithium for sure. Because lithium is the barrier for the sea hill, just like Venezuela was rich, okay, in lithium, okay, and gold. All right. So all these rare earths, majority of these rare earths are for the micro sea hip and also, for weaponry. Okay. It said it also holds potentials for hydrocarbons, oil and gas, and has abundant fresh water, which they need a lot of fresh water to run those data centers as well. It says with this economy currently focused on marine resources like fishing, man, So when you follow the resources, you always see this devil, on the scene, when you follow the resources. But you had something else before I get into the political thing and precept.
We get Habakkuk chapter 2, verses 4 and 5.
You got it, bro.
God, this is the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, starting at verse 4, which says, "Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. Yeah, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desires as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heaped unto him all people.
So he's a proud man, and that pride, as is written in Obadiah, the pride of his heart had deceived him, man. Because this devil really think these different nations are going to continue to let him just, strong arm or manhandle their countries, man. That's why the other nations are going to start coming together, because they're starting to hate the whore, and that pride, man. How the scriptures go to, his look was more stout than his fellows. I mean, so he's really across the board, just because of the U.S. military might. He feel like he can just pretty much do anything, man. So he's going from country to country, heaping up all the resources, dictating to people, causing himself doing a regime change. He's just doing any and everything to get all the resources and herd them and hoard them up to himself. But his greed is what's going to be his downfall, man, because he really think he's going to be able to just continually just run these other countries and infiltrate them, man, and seize their resources. But that's not going to happen, man. And that's the prophecy, that the other nations are going to start coming together. China's going to be a high power move. Russia going to be a high power move. Iran going to be a high power move when it comes to the other smaller countries, going to them for help, man. Even NATO and the EU is getting shaky already with them, because America is so proud and these elites, but they know what they're doing. They using this devil Donald Trump to really start ruffling feathers, man, because they want to. At the end of the day, their whole objective is to collapse the global economy and bring forth their NWO, man. And that's going to happen by continually bringing forth all this friction and conflict while they're doing their behind the scenes working, to go to the next move to bring more chaos to collapse the dollar, man. Because the dollar is what keep everything circulating. And these other countries that want to try to bring forth their own currency they can use, you saw these devils ain't finna let that happen. So eventually, only objective they have is to crash every monetary system and bring forth the new one, which is going to be in the NWO, that Carragher.
Mm-hmm. You have some, Yum Yak?
Yeah, come on, bro. Just to back up the brother. I want to say before I get this precept, Baba shot Malachi 2:1-2. But yeah, hey, once that dollar collapse, hey, we just much closer to that end, to their fall, man. So hey, how the Lord say, hey, how they try to fill their belly, but the Lord gonna intervene. He gonna interrupt their devices, man. What they're trying to fulfill.
Mm-hmm.
You got it.
You said Malachi 1-2?
No. Malachi 2:1.
Michael. Yeah, Micah 2:1. Okay. Yeah. You got it, bro.
Come, this is the book of Micah, chapter 2, verse 1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice. I said it right. Practice.
They practice.
Okay. It's okay. Come. They practice it because it is in the power of their hand.
Yeah. So this devil, he got to do wickedness. He got to do wickedness. He created to be the wicked. Going right back over there to the Micah. Right there was 1 and 4th chapter, chapter 1 and verse 4. But you got it, bro.
Come on, I got a precept for you too. Verse 2, it says, and they convey fields and take them by violence and houses. Go ahead.
Yeah, they covet fields.
Oh, cut the water. I'm sorry. Verse 2, it says, and that they covet fields and take them by violence and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage.
Going back into how he's not a keeper at home. Yeah, he covered fields. It being the name of war too. It also being the name of how illegal activity. You know, they're not how people not moving in the way that the United States will have them move. You know, but like again with those, and then how they put sanctions on everything. How they just taking so-called taking Venezuela and also call themselves and want to take Greenland, man. You know, so his eyes really on again those natural resources again to power what his NWO.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that was it on that.
Colin, you say you had one Anna?
Colin, since he brought out that that Micah 2:1 go Job 9:24. Because the scripture says that, we know that Isaac, who is Yahushua, blessed, gave this devil his blessing, which was, the sword. That's how he's taking everything, with the power of the sword, and he by the fatness of the earth and the dew, so this devil has been, the scripture also said that the Lord, he set up kings and removed them. So this devil is just living out his time right now, according to prophecy. But the scripture's point is able to point us exactly to who he is. And this is Job 9:24. It says, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? So this is why this devil is able to do what he's doing. It's all because he has been given that power in these times by Yahweh Shema Shai in order for the sake of prophecy, and that's how we're able to see the times that we're in. That's why we're able to put an identification of exactly who the wicked is, because again, he covered the faces of the judges thereof. So what has he repainted all the prophets, Yahweh Shai, and every notable man according to the scriptures, even the women to look like. So we know exactly who this devil is by his actions, even until today.
Yeah, it's a token of who he was, But now what we're seeing now, the earth is being stripped from, because this is when the devil first came into power, what you call it, iconoclasm. He was able to change the arts, but see now he's at the end game, okay, and the earth is being stripped from this nigga. The same power that gave this nigga the earth is taking the earth from him. And what we're seeing, Esau, Edom, he's trying to pull back, by trying to establish this new world order. See, this devil is on the time, okay? He's on the time clock, okay? And he can feel the earth is slipping. He can feel his grip on power is slipping. So what does someone desperate do, man? We're seeing somebody desperate, okay? This nigga talking about all these different countries and ultimately not just like say Trump, which let's get this political theater. Trump is more for theater, all right? The real moves, okay, that's being made, okay, by these elite bankers, okay, and let me see. I think I'll check. Here you go in the chat. So let's go to political theater. But these elites know that they got a short time, okay, and they see the prophet, and they see what the prophets are saying coming to pass. They see the alliances that we speak about coming to pass. They're seeing the chariots, okay. They're seeing, that we're speaking about this MOTB, okay, and that's one of the last prophecies that we're waiting on before World War III and Yahushua, okay. So these devils, all right, every step that they make, okay, they understand that look, they gotta say fuck it and just go for it. You see? So this is the spirit that these devils in now. They just gotta go for it, man. So they just parading Trump around, all right, and got this nigga just saying and doing anything. So when you go into just real quick political theater, it said political theater refers to symbolic actions, performances, and dramatic displays in politics that are designed more to shape perception and emotion than to directly change policy. Okay. So you're going to hear this nigga Trump, speak on a lot of things that really don't change nothing. Okay. Because America already has access to Greenland resources, so it's not like, that they are already getting a share of those resources. Okay. The Greenland is already a NATO member. So America can stage all the weapons they want on Greenland if it was a security thing. Okay. But Trump is just saying anything and doing anything just to create some break room talk at work to keep people distracted. Okay. Greenland got like 56,000 people. Okay. So Greenland is a community, man. It's mainly it's a land mass full of resources, and it's a community to stay on there. So then if they do something and they put it in the news like Trump took Greenland, they gonna make it like America just this big powerhouse that can't be messed with because he took over a country that got 56,000 people. So I asked it. It said, "Are these things intensified during wartime? What does political theater look like during wartime?" It says, "Yes, political theater is almost always intensified during wartime because the stakes are higher and public unity, morale, and legitimacy become matters of survival. War war compresses time, raises fear, and simplifies choices, which makes theatrical politics especially powerful and effective. While wartime intensifies political theater, it said legitimacy must be constantly reinforced. That's another thing America is trying to reinforce its legitimacy as a world superpower, as you have other superpowers emerging, man. Okay, and the whole purpose of the Lord raising up Russia and China, okay, Iran, all these other nations is to take down Babylon. Okay, that's why you see there's a shift in these nations. Okay, when they're looking at because these nations think that there's going to be a new world order and they're going to be around like this is going to continue. So they're shifting their allegiance from the West and going to the East. And like the brother said earlier, even these EU and NATO nations, man, because I say it don't make no sense, for them to try to take Greenland when they already got a treaty and pacts with Greenland. Okay. But this devil, he just all over the place, man. Okay. And like I say, these elites, they want war. Okay, because they think they're gonna be able, because see, the elites are used to managing these wars. They managed World War One, they managed World War Two. So they think they're gonna manage World War Three. Okay. But World War Three is gonna get away from them. Okay, this is gonna spiral out of control, man. So it says governments at war need citizens to accept sacrifices, taxes, rationing, conscription, casualties. Theaters help justify why the war is necessary and moral. Okay. And that's why even with Iran, you see them, pushing the narrative that they have to go save those Iranians. Okay. Like the American government care about Iran, or they care about the Iranian people. Okay. But it just plays good into the narrative of America being this nation of morals. Okay. It says fear amplifies emotional messaging. In wartime, people are more responsive to symbols, rituals, and dramatic narratives than to nuanced debate. Unity must be performed, not just declared. Leaders use the theatrical display to show cohesion, resolve, and inevitability, even when eternal disagreements exist. Okay, it says information itself becomes a weapon. Messaging is strategic, which is shown, hidden, dramatized, or repeated, can affect morale home and behavior abroad. You know, so that's why you see the media on repeat. You know, they constantly keep showing these snippets of Trump saying what they're gonna take next, and Greenland and Greenland. Because now they're gonna Greenland use to death. You know, they're gonna Iran use to death. They're gonna China and Russia use to death. You know, the same information. So in your mind, when they make their move, they justify it, man. Okay, but me and your brother had some precepts. No, you can get that in Revelation. Brother ain't got nothing.
I said Revelation 11 and no, that ain't the one. Revelation 17 and 16.
Yeah. Come on, bro. I got you, bro. All right, you got it, bro.
Come, this is the book of Revelation, chapter 17, verse 16. It says, "And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire."
So all the other nations, they're gonna come together, man, and eventually they're gonna shoot missiles on Babylon, man. You know, different vassal states or these different other countries that America really got, under their wing because of the fear. But they're gonna start teaming up with like Russia, China, Iran, and they're gonna unleash on America, man, because America is they don't even keep the covenants or treaties they have amongst themselves. So they're definitely not going to keep them with these other nations, man. And at the end of the day, with this NWO coming, the biggest problem the Edomites is who's going to be the next top man, who's going to be the next big dog. That's what they're thinking about. So they're really going to be at each other's throats because of that. Because somebody has to be next in line. But to their disappointment, Yahweh Shai is next in line, man. That's the end of that. But they're going to be at each other's throats, man. That's when you go into Matthew, 24th chapter about nation shall rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom. And we're witnessing that right now. So Esau is done, man. I mean, his days are numbered. And we're watching, like the priest said earlier, we're watching his kingdom unravel, before our eyes. But eventually it's going to come completely to naught, man. That's all I got, bro.
I got that for you, bro. You can read that for the brother. Matthew 24, 6 and 7. Well, yeah, 6 to 8, really. You got it, bro.
Good. This is the book of Matthew chapter 24, starting at verse 6. It says, "And ye shall hear wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet." Verse 7.
Right. So we're okay. You already got the war that's going on between Russia and Ukraine. One point that was just hearsay. They was talking about it. Then it started getting in effect. Now you're hearing about, war with Venezuela, and there's always been talk of war with America and China. There's always been talk about the possibility of war with America and Russia. Well, these talking points are a prophecy, man. They're going to come to pass. Okay, so it's not going to be just hearing of the rumors of wars. It's going to be all out war, man. And those wars are going to touch the grounds of Babylon. You got it, bro.
Verse 7. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places.
Right. So somebody wants to be the next big dog. Russia think it's gonna be them, China think it's gonna be them, America think they're gonna hold the top spot. And seeing while all this stuff is still going on, people are suffering. People are still dealing with inflation. People are still dealing with losing homes, jobs, not being able to take care of their families, deciding where they're gonna pay a light bill or buy some groceries or whatever, So that's gonna even trickle down to the wars amongst the people, man. People are gonna be trying to be in that survival mode. So this is how we know that we're at the end of this devil's rulership, man, because this is the grand finale. This is the judgment that's going to happen. Is going to close the curtains, man. So you're finna have small domestic wars. You know, you're gonna have like race wars, gender wars, you know, class wars. It goes on and on, man. You got sleeper cells here. So the Lord is bringing great division on the earth, man. And these are, as in verse 8, and these are the beginning of sorrows, man. Because this is just the beginning. The bubble hasn't busted yet. But once it busts, it's going to be complete chaos, man. And only mechanism, or should I say, only outlet we have is Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, man. That's going to be our refuge, our lifeline, and our protection, man. You know, that's why we have to trust in the Lord, man. Because when this devil really let loose, when the Lord really let this devil start getting truly busy, carnality is not going to be the way. That's all I got, bro.
Come on, bro. You had something, bro?
Come on, bro. Isaiah 13:2 on down to about 5.
Oh, yeah. Come for sure, brother. Yeah, but this what it's all leading to, you know. This place being destroyed. All right. So we're seeing, you know, a lot of theater. Okay. But the move that this devil is making, it's all going to lead to missiles coming to America, man. You know, once we get through talking. All right. What you got, bro? On Isaiah 13:2.
This book, Isaiah chapter 13. You me start at 1, bro? Or you me just start at 2?
Oh, you started 2.
It don't matter.
It don't matter, brother.
Which one you wanted, bro?
Just start from the top, bro. Read down to 5, Baba Kashai.
I got you. This is Isaiah chapter 13, starting from the top at verse 1. It says, the burden of Babylon, which Isaiah the son of Amos did see. Verse 2, lift ye up a banner upon the mountain, exalt the voice of them, shake the hand, that they may go into the gates of the nobles.
Yeah, real quick. Here it is. We lifting up the banner, B'Shem Yahushua, through the spirit of prophecy. And it's going into the gates of the nobles with these elites that their time is short, you know, and everything that divides them is being put out there, you know, because it's really no secret, you know. And the Lord revealed his secrets unto his servants the prophets, and he revealing what he got them on, you know. So this really no secret, man. This is really just information that's out there, but onto the ears of them that's going to hear this, you know, those who gonna see, those who gonna hear or hearken. You got it.
Scroll down, Baba Kashai.
It's
all good, bro. Verse 3. This is Isaiah 13 and verse 3. It says, I have commanded my sanctified ones. I have also called my mighty ones from mine anger. For mine anger. Even them that rejoice in my highness.
Give verse 4 about the shot.
Verse 4. The noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as a great people, a tumultuous. Tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together. The Lord Yahweh of hosts mustered the host of the heavens.
Yeah, the host of the battle.
It's like the host of the battle.
Yeah, so everything is orchestrated by Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. Nothing is by mistake. You know, nothing is neither on these so-called these puppet leaders' terms, man. And the Lord is strategically placing everything for what? For Armageddon, for the return of Yahushua, World War III. Everything is strategically being placed so that that the word of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua may come to pass.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you go into verse 3, going into the sanctified ones, that's the prophets, man. And then the mighty ones are the angels, you know. So the Lord has caused his prophets, you know, to spiritually chant this place down. Okay. The angels are more active, you know, playing on the minds of men. Okay. And then eventually, you know, the angels are going to show up with Yahushua to take this place down. you know. And then it said the noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as of a great people. And that's those missiles coming to this place, because that's part of the Lord's army as well. He gonna make these missiles march to Babylon. Okay, so all this, you know, chaos, because Babylon is just going around the earth now like a Tasmanian devil, man, just kicking up dust. But all it's going to cause is all these nations to send, okay, these missiles, and it's going to be like a great army that's going to march to Babylon, man. Okay, that's why I said the noise of the kingdoms of the nations gather together. So these nations are all going to send their missiles, all right, to America, and that's going to be the response to everything we see America doing. This is going to be the response from these nations, is all these missiles coming to America, man, because they see they can't deal with America, man. America's a goddamn maniac. Okay, so they just gonna send these missiles over here. It's gonna be the negotiation, man. Okay, and it said the Lord of the hosts mustereth. It said the Lord of hosts mustereth the host of the battle. You know, so the Heavenly Father, just like the brother is saying, He's moving chess pieces for His purpose to come to pass. You know, but you got though, verse 5, bro.
Yeah, hey, real quick, hey, just to back you up, hey, the scripture say, how you said, how they the army, the missiles of the army of the Lord. Hey, the scripture say how they gonna move, and none shall break their rank. So each one of them, yeah, they got their own, they got their own spot with what they determine to hit, and the bulk of them coming, like I said, bro, the bulk of them coming right here. You got it, bro.
Verse 5, Isaiah chapter 13, verse 5. It says they come from a far country, from the end of heaven, even the Lord Yahweh, and the words of the weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole land.
Yeah, the weapons of the Lord of his anger, man. He got these missiles set up to be used, man. They ain't just gonna be on showcase, you know, collecting dust. No, the Lord really gonna use these, whether people believe it or not. You know, so it's gonna come. The end of Babylon is coming. You know, even if you can't see it, shit, it's gonna be there. It's gonna be evident that the Lord done away with Babylon. You know, even in that day, the day of the Lord's anger, man. You know, scripture say a man's heart shall faint. You know, our heart. Basically, a lot of these people, they finna see these missiles come over this motherfucker, man. And this is what we're gonna need Yahweh Shem Yahushua, especially in that day, you know, all the way up until that day, but especially in that day, you know, so we don't partake in the reward of this wicked, man.
Bro.
I got something back y'all up, bro, if I can.
Yeah, you got it, bro. What you got?
Isaiah 66, verse 15 and 16.
Oh, yeah. You got it, bro.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 66, verse 15 and 16. For behold, the Lord Yahweh will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury, and rebuke with flames of fire. For by fire and by his sword will the Lord Yahweh plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord Yahweh shall be many.
And that's gonna be the finishing touch on everything y'all brother just saying, man. When all the other nations shooting these missiles over here, you know, just pounding down on Babylon, you know, the Lord is gonna come back and just finish it off, man. What's that in thanks in the book of Luke? I don't know exactly where, but where exactly it is what the Lord said he's coming to bring fire on the earth. What if it was already kindled? Rather paraphrase. So while it's already flamed up, man, the Lord just come finish it off, man. And it's gonna be beautiful, you know. And ain't nothing Esau army can do, nothing they fighter jets gonna be able to do. You know, they're gonna try to fight the angels, but it's gonna be a failed project, you know.
Tell them, bro.
But that's all I got, bro.
Shabbat. Yeah, I got the word Shabbat. You know, it's a beautiful precept to end it on, because you know Yahweh Shai come to close everything out. once we get through talking about, the moves these nations are making, and when the war actually break out, all right, well, Yahweh Shai is going to show up and close everything out. So you go into the word Shabbat, all right, which is to plead, and it goes to judge, to vindicate, to punish, to execute judgment. And I want to go down here. It says condemn and punishing, because the Lord is going to punish all these nations in this third world war. Okay, America is just going to be the headline of judgment, because it's going to be completely turned into a lake of fire. Okay, but all these nations going to get judged in this third world war. And it says a theophanic, all right, advent for a final judgment. Okay, so this is their final judgment that the Lord has for these nations, and it's going to be in the midst of this third world war. Okay, and all these nations are going to have to deal with Yahushua when he returns. Whatever's left of these nations in the midst of this third world war, when Yahushua returns, okay, they're going to have to deal with that judgment, man. Any brother had anything else before we close out?
I have one, bro, if I may.
Yeah, we'll close out with
Job 14:5.
Yep.
Because like you were saying, we were going into the brother been going into, this devil has been able to run amok, but like his kingdom is slowly being dismantled in front of him. So as he continued to try to run with these things, then eventually he gonna hit that wall. I'm pretty sure every brother that's seen football where you had his running back, he running and he hit that brick wall, ain't a single step after that. And it goes in Job 14:5. Seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee. Thou hast appointed by his bounds that he cannot pass. So he's gonna be able to do what the Lord allows him to do. The Lord continues to slowly dismantle this devil, but eventually he's gonna hit that wall where he's not gonna get a single inch, centimeter, or whatever you want to put past it. Once he hit that wall, this devil is gonna be done. He's gonna be knocked out. He's gonna get knocked clean off his feet straight into slavery.
Down for the count.
Come
on. And that's that's the point. So just like the brother said, the devil is running, to his own judgment. All right. And the devil, is on that time clock. He can feel that pressure. He gonna get more reckless. He gonna get more impulsive. Okay. And he really want to throw up this new world order, before it's all said and done. So we're living in some interesting times, so 2026, started off with a bang, and through the spirit, you can feel it's going to be an eventful year, so we're going to stay on our watch, our Baratazai, and Lord will, we're that much closer, so Lord will, you brothers, all right, and you sisters was edified once again, and we give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Kakadash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples to his younger brothers. And peace and blessings, salutations, hopefully, shalom.
Shalom.